What's going on, everybody? This is Corbin, the Serpent Tongue Skipwith, and I'm here with very special guest AJ from Fire from the Gods. How you going?
What's going on, people? Well, go on. I'm out here.
Yes, and it's so exciting. I've been waiting for this, for a few days now. So I'm so happy we can finally get this started.
Yes.
Yeah.
Holla
So,
at me, my bro.
so look, I wanted to talk about, if it's okay with you, I wanted to talk about your latest album, Soul Revolution.
Yeah.
Yep. So,
So revolution.
amazing name, by the way, for the album. So
Thank
I
you.
want to know what was the process like recording this record compared to other albums?
Bro, let me tell you, it was a journey, I've been answering this question a lot, obviously, because the record's coming out. So doing a lot of interviews and that. And I've kind of like I feel like I've been given such a flat answer, like the more like textbook answer, like, oh, the world's in trouble. And, people think about revolution as violent and political. And I just want to institute a soul revolution. But really the brass tacks of it, man, and to really hit the nail on the head to answer your question, is it was a journey that started amongst the right around the back end of the horrible COVID situation, you know. Um, and I don't even want to put too much credence and give that time period the give it. I don't want to talk about it so much, but the fact is, it was a journey, man. I had just had a kid, uh, another child, my second. Then we had gone through this crazy weather situation here in Austin, where just freezing temperatures reduced one of the largest, most boisterous economies in the United States down to like almost a third world country. I mean, people, it froze, and then Texas like lost their minds, and roads shut down, and there were power outages, and so we were going through all of that, but at the same time trying to figure out, oh my God, are we ever going to tour again? Oh my days, are we ever going to be able to? Are we going to write this record, which we know we have to write? What's going to happen? So the whole process started on the backdrop from all of that stuff. All of that stuff was happening while we were trying to say, oh, we still have to try and rescue our career here. So ultimately, it was just like I said, a journey of a series of catastrophic events that led to the mindset, that led to the writing style, that led to the overall demoing, and then finally, a year later, after we started demoing, we completed the record in LA, and we're happy to now be able to serve it to the public.
Yeah. Do you think this might sound like an obvious question, but do you think that this album would sound different at all had COVID not have happened?
1,000%. 1,000%. I think that there it had probably been a lot heavier as far as metal music is concerned, because I think we did take a bit of a relaxed, lighter approach to the music, um, as far as the music is concerned. But in terms of lyrical heaviness, in terms of emotion, I think we kind of got what we were feeling, or what I was feeling, so to speak.
Yeah. Oh,
You feel me?
yeah, I was gonna say, like, I can't imagine how hard it would be as a band or an artist to find time to write and record during constant touring, during other stuff you have to do as a band, interviews and
Right.
like how do you find time to actually record or write new material amongst all this extra stuff you have to do?
Well, the good thing is that we had the time off here, to be able to kind of schedule when we can. We were obviously like, oh my God, can we be in the studio together? Is that, all that kind of stuff. But you just gotta fit it in when you can. A lot of bands have the luxury of, having very good facilities on the road, where we do as well now. So we're able to get into like a green room, and you can you can write a little bit while you're there. You can write while you're on the bus, because technology has just provided that. I mean, during COVID, I mean, we did writing sessions with some really top notch producers and writers via Zoom. it's not something that I would ever want to do again, but because of the situation. So technology has proven that you can do a lot of cool shit now and get records out and get because content is king, right? So you want to get as much content as possible. Excuse me. So you can just record wherever, whenever, and however you want,
Yeah,
and that's what we do.
yeah. No, as you said, like when I listen to this album, I can definitely hear the sense of like I can definitely hear how COVID, how something like COVID could have influenced the writing, could have influenced a few things on the record, and it sounds heavy. It sounds
Very
heavy
much so.
lyrically. It sounds heavy
Yeah,
in a lot of aspects. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I mean, you can tell, like with SOS. I think the best one that I've seen review wise is this record goes from hopelessness to hopefulness, and I think that really, excuse me, I think that really encapsulates what we are trying to say, or what I was trying to say in particular, or convey to the listener.
yeah, yeah. Um, when it comes to this record, was there any song on the record that was harder to make for any reason compared to the rest?
Yes, love is dangerous, man. It's like I've never written a song like that. I never wrote a song that was based on love in the sense of a relationship between uh, an intimate partner. Um, Essentially, I've never written a love song. So, I mean, all my songs, I think I've, I try to be all philosophical and say they're all love songs because it's about love for people and love for yourself and love for your your fellow man. But that that was challenging. That song almost took me 6 months to a year to write lyrically. Like, and that's never really a thing. I'm usually like right off the bat, like I can get into the booth. Like SOS took a day and a half.
Yeah,
So and it just took me freestyling some stuff the day before, and then in the studio, Richie came up with some cool ass like riffage, and we started building the song musically. And I was like, oh, I got these bars, and then bang, here goes the first verse. The backup bar, all that. That was just a freestyle, but Love is Dangerous. Like I really wanted to dig, and the producer Eric Ron, he's like, bro, you gotta really dig deep here, bro. You gotta, I need you to get into the booth and think about your kids. Think about, you know, the things you've been in. Like, this is the song. Because we were trying, this is gonna sound fucking wild, but we really were trying to like Celine Dion that motherfucker, dude. Like like we were listening to like all the songs from like Con Air and shit, like because we wanted to write this epic sweeping ballad because we've never done that as a band. And I
yeah,
was like, dude, I want to write that. I was trying to write, in essence, Fire from the Gods is Nothing Else Matters. But essentially it just came off like this kind of like R&B 90s love song with heavy guitars, which we liked. So we're like, fuck it, we'll keep it, and we'll try and write the big 90s movie soundtrack ballad, the Armageddon, Aerosmith, Guns N' Roses. We'll try that some other time, but we came up with Love Is Dangerous. So that song was tough, man, because I was like, dude, this is not me. But that's exactly how I felt on Narrative, and I feel that way about a lot of songs. I felt that way about Excuse Me. I was like, I don't want this song. I just wanted I wanted to write heavy metalcore kill switch engage type tracks, and everyone's like, nah, 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 let's do this rap shit, man. And I was like, yo, I can rap, but but it just and it it became something that we liked, and we just ran with it. So Love Is Dangerous was kind of like that for me. It was tough,
yeah.
and
No,
it's the
that's
most
fair enough.
simple song on the record when you listen to it. It's like there's nothing special about it. It's just the way I sing it. You know, it's wild.
No, that's fair enough. Did you want to talk about the album cover? How that came about, what it represents?
So the artwork in general was done by my guy Kev Moore, who did Spirit Box. He did the last three Fire from the Gods. Excuse me, the last three releases from Fire from the Gods. He did Narrative Retold. He did American Sun, and he also did American Son Reimagined. So he and I had this relationship, and I told him, I was like, dude, I want to do something, and I want artwork that really takes us back to a time in rock where people didn't really give a fuck. And it wasn't just about I wanted to be intentional, but I didn't want it to be this big rock record and make it look like it was supposed to be this massive mainstream rock record. Although that's the world that we now live in, and we're not this underground hardcore band schlepping it around in a van playing for 20, 30 people. We're playing massive venues, we're getting played on the radio, people all over the world are now listening to our music. So I kind of went contrary from where I kind of went on the contrarian side of things and said I wanted to look like a hip hop record from the 90s.
Yeah.
So I didn't want it to be super graffitied up, like, oh, here's graphed up walls and that kind of stuff. And, here's a kid skating on a skateboard. I didn't want that. It's not a Limp Bizkit record, right? Although I love Limp Bizkit. But I wanted it to look like, I wanted it to represent the streets. And
Yeah.
the streets, for me, represent everywhere we had been. Like, it could be a rock venue. It could be a corner shop in New York City. It could be a chicken and chip shop in London. It could be this place in Berlin. It just has to represent what people look like and what the world looks like right now. And the best way was like this cool, weird, scratched up graffiti, but this very nice backdrop, but something kind of rough over it. Like the world's beautiful, but everywhere is, I didn't want to gloss it over anymore. Tell the truth. People are in a fucked up place, so I wanted the artwork to represent that.
Yeah. It kind of looks like a Rage Against the Machine art.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Like I didn't want to be like, oh, yo, this is Rage, but I wanted to say like, the 90s and let it be like, let's just be real. And
Yeah.
people like real shit. And I don't want to, it doesn't have to have diamonds. It doesn't have to be glossy lights. And, the insert, there's just pictures of what the ordinary person looks like. And then there's a bunch of stuff over their faces with the lyrics and stuff like that. And it's a little bit of a beautiful chaos kind of thing, organized chaos a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're right. It's no Burning Monk, but it still sends a message.
Yeah. You feel me? Exactly. You're a G, bro. You're a G. You're a G.
Look, one thing I've been dying to ask you about since knowing I was going to have you on is what was it like to feature this year on the latest Memphis Mayfire album?
Oh, dude, thank you. Thank you for bringing that up, man. Memphis Mayfire is a band that 15 years ago, when people were like, oh, I can't really listen to this music, they all sound the same. It Yeah, the business and the scene was oversaturated, but always when you see something like that, whether it be sports, whether it be music, film, the best of the best are always going to show, right? You're always going to, the cream of the crop, as this is always going to get to the top. And Memphis Mayfire is one of those bands. Everyone, so many times people want to replicate their sound, and they were the leaders in this metalcore scene, but they've emerged, kind of like Motionless in White and Iceman Kills. They've emerged as like, yeah, that's the heavyweight contender in that scene. So I've always viewed them as one of the best, and I've always like been a fan. And we got close being on Warped Tour together. Then we did a tour together. And then Maddie was just like, dude, he hit me up one day. I was like, yo, I want you on the record. And I was like, what? Are you out of your mind? He was like, yeah. He was like, this is like, we just want AJ Chana on this. We don't want you to be like the metalcore guy doing your rap thing. Just give us you. And Kellen is a fantastic riff writer, man. Like he writes dope riffs, and they're heavy and crunchy. And so they sent it to me, and immediately, like within 10 seconds, I was like, bah, 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 da, da. I was just flipping it and freaking. So I was like, yo, this is it, man. I'm gonna drop some bars on this. And they loved it. And I was really happy to be a part of that, because you can see now that the world of music is changing, the Slipknots of the world, the Korns of the world, the Metallicas of the world. These guys are getting a lot older, and this is nothing against them, but they're the elder statesmen. and now someone's got to take over. You know what I'm saying? We got to keep this heavy music shit going. And bands like Memphis Mayfire, like I said, a cream of the crop. They're going to be at the top of that, the leaders of that movement. And it was really, I felt blessed to be a part of that for sure, man.
Yeah. No, that is a great album. And yeah, obviously your performance on there was great as well. So good job on that.
Thank you. I think it's the only feature. It
Yeah.
might be the only
Yeah, it
feature
is.
on the record. Yeah.
Yeah.
Word.
No, you definitely stand out for all the best reasons possible. So good job on that one.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate you, my guy.
Look, so there's just a few things. There's just a few things. A few things more I wanted to ask you, and this one's always a fun one. But if you were trapped on a desert island with only one album to listen to for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Dude, I've been answering this question since I started my career and started getting interviewed. And I always give like a few different answers, but there's one record that always is the mainstay. And this is gonna sound like kind of lame, but Slipknot's first untitled record, Slipknot, the first record with Eyeless and Surfacing. I
Yeah.
could listen to that record start to finish every day of my life and still be satisfied and be still amazed at how incredible that record is.
Nice. You know, actually, it was that album. That album was responsible in me learning who Marlon Brando was.
Yeah, he can see California, but it makes a lot of sense, right?
Yeah,
You
you
know,
can't
it's
see
dope now that you
California
know
without Marlon Brando's eyes. Yeah.
exactly. You know who Marlon Brando is now, and then you watch The Godfather and you watch all his movies, and you find out what type of actor he was. You know, yes, I'm a maggot.
Yeah, it's definitely an iconic album. I mean, the scream at the end of Eyeless. Oh,
Oh,
that final scream,
come
that
on.
just raunchiness of it. Oh, it's always amazing.
Yeah, bro. It's filthy, bro. It's filthy. It's filthy.
And the other thing I wanted to ask you, and the other thing I want to ask you is, in the near future, so for the near future, I would like to, if possible, invite you to my heavy metal podcast.
Oh, yo, of course, bro.
I do a podcast every week. I recorded yesterday, actually. It's a weekly
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
I
yeah.
do it with a Viking, if you can believe that.
Wait, with a
And
Viking? What do
yeah,
you mean with a Viking?
a Viking from Ireland. He's my co-host.
Oh, is it? Okay, okay, wicked. Sick,
So,
sick.
I mean,
Yo, hit me up next week.
yeah, I
I'll
love
be
your
on it. The
music.
record will be
I
out
would
by
love to
then.
have you as a feature to talk about one of the albums. And
Yeah, what's
yeah.
up? That's what's up, man, for sure.
Well, I'll send you a message on Instagram and hopefully you see it.
Yeah. Send that, bro. Send that.
Yeah.
Send that. I'm down.
Sweet.
I'm down.
All right. Thank you so much for this interview. You were very charismatic. You're everything I hoped you'd be and more. So thank you again for that.
Yo, thank you, my friend. I appreciate you, brother. You stay up, man.
Thank you very much. And I'll definitely be talking to you soon.
Yes. Big ups.
All right. Have a good one.
All right, peace, man.